So, um, what was it, Wednesday? I had a wonderful day. No, Tuesday, I had a wonderful day with my Green Witch sisters. And we were at a gorgeous house of one of our apprentices. And walking around her garden and having the opportunity to see all of the different herbs and the weeds, the wild ones, in their different forms really gave me that feeling of it's really okay to be at any place that you are right now, whether you are at a place of, if you look at the plant that's dying, if you're at the place that's ready to open, if you just opened, if you've been open and you're deteriorating, or if you're at that place between being very, very contracted and ready to burst open, that any of those possibilities are absolutely filled with wisdom. That it's not just the death that's full of wisdom, or the life, or the brightness, or the beautiful that's full of wisdom. It's all parts. And that's what our universal consciousness is asking us to do right now, is be all parts of yourself, right? Be the curious, be the afraid, be the open, and be the closed. One of the things that Robin said, which I loved, is that we're walking through the ocean of air. And what she means is that we're kind of pushing through, like our air doesn't feel as easy to move through any longer, right? And we're getting taken down by the wave, and we're under that, wave consciousness. And then we come back up, and there we are again. And then we walk and we move, and to have that consciousness of pushing through the energy of that water that's around us, even though it's air. But it's a little bit more interesting for us to try to figure out, because it's not the way we thought it was or it used to be. And it was never easy to move through our days and our weeks and our years, but it seemed to be easier than it is now. And so that idea of allowing yourself to be in any state that you're in, and to know that it's consciousness moving through the ocean of air. And so I wanted to chant our closing chant, which is the Asatoma Sadgamaya. And I'm going to do it in the very traditional way. So the way most of you are used to me chanting it is in a very kirtani way that we wrote a long time ago, which I love. But the more traditional way is the way that has been chanted for centuries and centuries. And so we're going to do it like that this morning. And the reason I wanted to start with it was because it says, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me to truth. There's so many untruths happening in the world. Lead me back to what is true and what is real. And Gamaya is a prayer. It's an offering to yourself. Lead me back to what is real. Allow me to navigate through that ocean of air, untruths, right? Things that are not in the highest form for me. And lead me back into light, because the darkness, though it has great value, we're talking about the darkness that's ignorance, and the ignorance that we forget who we are and our true nature is. And then lead me back to the understanding that I am in this great, great ocean of bliss, that I belong to an infinite ocean, that I am not just this finite body. And so it's a beautiful prayer. So we'll chant it. I'll chant it. You chant it with me. I'm just going to start chanting it. And you just join me if you know it. If you don't, just close your eyes and meditate on the sound. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma somajo tirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya asatoma sagamaya tamasomajo tirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya asatoma sagamaya tamasomajo tirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya asatoma sagamaya tamasomajo tirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. And if you'd like, you can join me for Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And allow your eyes to float open. Come onto your hands and knees and press back into child's pose. Settle back into child's pose. Gamaya means lead me through this ocean of the air, through these very puzzling times that are absolutely as they need to be. And then move forward onto your hands and knees. Begin to move your spine here. Inhale to look forward, exhale to look back, cats and cow. Close your eyes. Get lost inside yourself. And ask yourself what you need today. What's on your list of nourishing yourself other than showing up today with me and hanging out with us? And then take it through some hip circles. Lauren, connecting to your water element is very important today. Thank goodness it's raining. Connect to the flow of water. Beautiful. And then take this in the opposite direction. Move through the ocean of your hips. Beautiful, you guys. And then come to stillness. Take your right knee in front of your left knee. Stack your right knee in front of your left. Separate your feet nice and wide. And then send your hips back just a little bit, but take your arms forward like you're still in child's pose. Your knee is in front of your knee. Don't sit all the way back. I want your butt to still be in the air. Walk your hands forward now, Yasmin. You got it. Perfect. Draw your navel up. Relax your forehead down. Maybe it touches the floor. Maybe you just stretch out through the arms. Maybe you put a block underneath your forehead. You breathe into those hips. The ocean is often referred or referenced in our practice. The ocean of awareness. Good. Come on up to your hands and knees and switch sides. Other knee in front. Separate your feet nice and wide. Walk your hands forward. Send your hips back. Not all the way to sitting though. Breathe into your back body. I highly suggest that you take a little magnifying glass at some point and walk out into nature and put it up against anything, any of your weeds, your wild women weeds, and see how intricate the things that you miss by just walking past, the beauty that you miss. Good, come on up. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal your heels here, bending your knees. Maybe bend your knees and let your knees sink to the left and then to the right. Maybe one knee at a time, sinking to the left and to the right. So again, you're swishing through the hips. You're freeing what may be stuck or stagnant. And then step your right foot forward, please, lunge. Maybe have blocks. And bring both hands inside of your right knee, both hands inside your right knee in a low lunge. Keep the little back knee lifted and hip circles here. Move your hips here. Let your breath become as even as it can be. Gorgeous, you guys, in both directions. Good, and then either lower the back knee or keep it lifted. Walk your hands forward either to the upper left-hand corner of your mat or feel free to come down to your elbows. You can fill the back body with breath. You can even breathe into the back of the heart by rounding it. Be gentle with yourself, you guys. We definitely don't need to know the answers. I've talked before about our soul already understands why we're here. Good. Lift yourself up and walk to the left until you come to the center of your mat. Straighten both legs, parallel your feet, and bow. Deeply bow. So you're facing, Gwen, you're facing the long side of your mat. Left leg is back. Gorgeous. Thank you. Feet are both in the same direction, parallel to each other. Notice if one foot is further forward than the other, right? Just notice that. Great, Nicole. And then maybe take your arms forward and take it into a nice long dog, so you have a wide-legged dog pose. Lift the hips nice and high. Squeeze the sit bones wide. Let the armpits lift, but find that lift to be supporting you, not pushing you. Through the energy of the ocean, you will go under for sure. And then you come back up. And through that process, right, we know that the ocean is cleansing and purifying. Good. Walk your hands back in. Clasp your hands behind your back for just a moment. Take the shoulders stretch. Gorgeous. Arms up and over any amount. And then relax your hands back down. Walk back to the front of your mat, downward facing dog. And come forward to plank. And then maybe go right back to dog or take it through the vinyasa with sweet awareness, right? Again, don't push. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, step your left foot forward, lunge. Walk both hands inside and take some beautiful hip circles here. Embody the elements. Find your earth energy when you need to ground yourself. Find your water when you need to connect to your hormonal energy. Move through this body. It is the perfect medicine for anything you need at any time. And then when you're ready, come to stillness there. Walk your hands forward, either to the upper right-hand corner of the mat. Maybe lower your elbows down. Last week, I highly suggested drinking some mint or having mint in your food for your nervous system to relax. Mint is also amazing for hormonal relaxation. Beautiful, you guys. Remember, a lot of work can happen here, even though you're in a holding place. Press the hips back, lengthen the spine. Good, and then walk to the right until you come to the center of your mat. Straighten your legs and bow. Feel your heels and your toes. And then walk your hands forward, doing that nice open downward facing dog. It's like a deeper breathing downward facing dog. Somehow it feels much more like you're in the mansion of the downward dog. Press your hips high to the sky. Let your spine release and let your head drop. Let it just like I'm dropping my brain. I'll pick it up at the end of class. The do's and the don'ts and the rights and the wrongs. We're in such an interesting time, right? Where everybody, when they say what they feel, they are right. Well, for them, that's great. For you, you got to show up as your whole person, whatever that is for you. Good. Walk your hands back in. Now hold opposite elbows. Now bend your right knee and swish your upper body over towards your right knee. And then like a figure eight, sideways figure eight, come back through the center and go to the left side. And just move through, bending one knee and then the other, bending one knee and then the other, side to side. And then come center, straighten both legs and clasp your hands behind your back. Maybe the awkward handhold, the other thumb weaves in first, and then you take the arms up and over any amount. You drop your hands to the floor and you go back to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. And take it through your vinyasa. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. Walk or jump to the front of your mat when you're ready. Bow completely. Feel your feet. Feel your feet and feel the floor beneath you holding your feet. Good. Inhale the arms out and up to the sky. Take a hold of that left wrist and pull to the right. Angela, reach down through your feet. Gosh, we all need this moment. Ground me, dear goddess. Come back to center and try the other side. Stretch that side body, our secondary breathing apparatus, right? In the intercostal muscles. And come back to center. Relax the arms alongside of you and close your eyes for a moment. Embody the elements. Beautiful. Okay, open your eyes. Bring your left knee into your chest. Wrap your left knee on top of your right knee, eagle pose. Wrap your right elbow on top of your left. Squeeze your shins toward each other, widen your inner thighs. An eagle pose, let your elbows drop down towards your knees. Left knee on top of right, eagle. Hi, Mia. Squeeze. Rise up and release. Nice, you guys. There's this very interesting conversation. Go ahead and do the second side between contracting and expanding. I've talked about this for 20 years. So there's a place within you that must contract just like the weeds, just like the beautiful flowers in your garden. There's a contraction that must take place, and then there's expansion. So can you squeeze in here, but then get longer, get more space? Squeeze in and then expand out. And then rise up. Sit back to chair. Bring your hands to your heart center. Prayer twist to the right, left elbow outside the right knee. Contract, squeeze in. Expand out. Breathe deep, long, long exhales. Come back to chair. Inhale. Exhale, turn it to the other side. Prayer twist. Squeeze into yourself. And then widen yourself. Get bigger. Good, back to chair. Come on up to your tippy toes in chair. Lift up to your tippy toes in chair. Good, rise all the way up, keeping your heels lifted. Bring your hands to your heart center. Keep your heels lifted. This is certainly not what Angela asked for in this one. Close your eyes. All the way up. Straight legs, straight legs. Alana, straight legs. Eyes closed, hands at your heart. Heels up, heels up. The unknown. Lower your heels, keep your eyes closed. Breathe deep. Whatever wave is on its way to knock you down, you know you'll go under and you'll be blessed and you'll come back up again. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Send your left foot back behind you, Virabhadrasana 1, first warrior. Nice, you guys. Stand strong in your warrior. and stand soft. Ronnie, both arms to the sky here, Virabhadrasana 1, great. Good, clasp your hands behind your back and bow forward. Nice. Hands touch the floor, and you send that right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Bring the heel towards your butt, and then make circles with that right knee. Make circles with that right knee. Beautiful. Nicole, you want to be in down dog here, circling that knee. And then take your right knee forward for pigeon. Right knee forward for pigeon. Gorgeous. Walk your hands up, squeeze your knees toward each other, lift your chest. And then walk your hands forward, taking your forehead onto the mat. Let your hips breathe deep into your hips. Breathe into your kidneys. While you're at it, breathe into your liver. All of this is hormonal balance. Beautiful, you guys. If you're on your back, stay there for another moment. Walking your hands up, take your right hand back to your left ankle, doing a twisting thigh stretch. Right hand back, left ankle. If you can bring that hand inside, you can open up that shoulder. Make sure your hips stay square here, Susan. Make sure your hips are square. Great. Good. Nice, Ann. Pull. Nice, Ronnie. Pull that shoulder back, Margie. Beautiful. Nice, Chrissy. Downward facing dog. Nice, everybody. And take it through a vinyasa if you'd like. And again, it's really beautiful to take it slow. Move like the water. Move and be fluid. So there's nothing here on autopilot. There's every part of you listening. Left foot steps forward when you're ready. Virabhadrasana 1. Stand tall in the warrior, the goddess, the god. I remember Manorama, my teacher would always say, you every day have a battle to fight. Bhagavad Gita. Every day you have a battle to fight. Clasp your hands behind you, bow forward. Hands to the floor. Send that left leg back and up behind you. Down dog split. Then bring the heel towards your butt and make circles with that knee. She said the hardest battle was the one that you do when you get up in the morning and you choose to meditate or not, pray or not. First battle of the morning. Hit that alarm. Good. Send that leg back behind you. Send the knee forward. Ekapada Raja Kapadasana. Pigeon pose. Squeeze the knees together. And then walk forward. I'm going to start making up names of poses. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've always wanted to do that. That was not a made-up name, though. That's a real one. Ekapada, one-legged. Capo, the pigeon. Asana, steady, still. Asana is always bringing yourself back to the steady seat of the soul. We move through the physical to go to the layers that are deep within us, the soul body. Remember, the soul body is the part of us that never has to ask why. But again, curiosity, questions. And yet, yes. Good. All right, come on up and let's take that little thigh stretch, twisting thigh stretch. What? Sorry. Left arm back. Yeah, open those shoulders. Please squeeze those knees toward each other. Beautiful, Maren. Nice. Angela, you guys are just rocking this, Kathy. Gorgeous. And release. Nice, Alana. Patrice, downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Go ahead and drop down to those knees for a moment and either sit on your heels or sit in child's pose. If you'd like to sit between your heels, that's also a fabulous option here. And breathe deep. I just got this water, you guys. Some of you are sitting, so I'll show you what it looks like. I just got this water from Nectar. I think my favorite day must be today because now my water is green. I like everything green. It's really, really delicious too. Called chlorophyll water. I'll show you again. It's like a happy day when everything I have is green. If you're sitting between your heels, it's a little early for this, but we did one thigh stretch already. If you're sitting between your heels, lie back on your back. Very good for digestion. Remember, when you're digesting life and you're digesting your food. Make sure your knees are straight ahead though, Patrice. Don't let your knees go wide, please. Yeah. Great. Sitting on your heels is a great option, you guys. Great. Nice, Ronnie. Great, Ellen. Okay, come on up and downward facing dog. Right, if that supine Virasana works for you, I would say that's a fabulous grounding place to go throughout your day. Good, right foot steps forward, please. Open to Virabhadrasana too. Squeeze the pelvic floor and then release it. Squeeze the pelvic floor and release it. So that you and your pelvic floor know you know the difference, right? You know the difference between contracting too much. Good, straighten your front leg and reach forward to triangle. Nice, Susie. Make sure that head doesn't hang unless you want it to. Be aware of head hanging. Good, now bend your knee and come forward to Ardha Chandrasana. Come forward to half moon. Lift your back leg up. And then bend your left knee. Bend your left knee. Bend it. Move the knee toward your belly. Move it forward. Not easy. Gorgeous, Yasmin. And then press it back into your hand to take the thigh stretch or not. Great, Lauren. Great, Gwen. Nice. Good, Linda. Jessica, Chrissy, good. And release, Susan. Excellent downward facing dog. Mia, beautiful. Allie. Allie. Good. Take it through vinyasa if you'd like. Left foot steps forward as you're ready, Vera 2. Again, that really nice moment to squeeze the pelvic floor and release it. Squeeze the pelvic floor and release it. This is first chakra energy, right? As much as it also helps us to keep that place very strong the older we get, for some of us, right? But it also is a place to connect first chakra tribal, feeling supported. Straighten that front leg and reach for triangle pose. Eagle span your wings, your arms wide open. Lift that head, squeeze your spine. Gorgeous. And then bend that left knee and come forward into half moon. Bend the leg that's up in the air, the right leg, bend it, and bring your knee towards your belly, squeeze in. And then press it back as you reach for that ankle behind you. Open up. And release back, downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Walk or jump to squat, please. Maybe let your head drop here and your arms drop. Maybe keep your hands in prayer. Maybe turn your thumbs up and let your head drop onto your thumbs. Forehead onto your thumbs. Again, connect to the water. Let your seat come down to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together. Just rock here for a moment like you're in a boat. Yeah, just side to side. Side to side. There's nothing more soothing than rocking, right? We know that babies love when they're rocked and held. So nothing more soothing than rocking. Good. And then come to some place that you feel is the balance point and walk your hands forward or stay right where you are. Remember to keep the baby toes actively pressing into the floor, but not pushing harshly, right? The lightness of being. Deep breathing, especially exhaling. Good. Come on up. Take one leg in front of the other, just a comfortable cross-legged position. Bring your hands in front of you. Step back onto your hands and knees. That moment that you're shocked. And then take your right knee in front of your left knee again, like we started with. Right knee in front of left. Widen your seat. You may need a block here. And walk back until you sit between your heels. Gomukhasana. Nicole, maybe a block or maybe a blanket underneath your seat might be lovely. If this doesn't work for you, if you can't sit between your heels and the block doesn't make a difference, come to cross-legged again and put your right shin in front of your left shin. And then before we walk forward, it's one of my favorite things to do. Place your fingertips on the floor. Push down onto the floor and lift your chest. Close your eyes. Walk your hands back. Some of you have your hands forward, so walk your hands back towards your hips so you really get nice and tall here. You're taking almost a little bit of a back bend. You're lifting your chest a lot. There it is. Yeah. Gorgeous. If you were outside, you would have the sunbeam on your face. Or, of course, today, for some of us, you'd have the raindrops on your face. That's it. And then walk yourself forward. Kind of looking at what you're doing, Gwen. I think you're okay. No, you're not okay. Yeah. Can you sit cross-legged instead? Because I'm not quite sure that that's going to be helpful for you at all. Right shin in front of left shin. Yeah, flex your feet. Pull your toes back. Good. Now walk forward. You should get some kind of a hip. Good. Excellent. Yeah. You okay there, Ronnie? Yeah. Okay. I want to reach through. I don't know. Who's going to create where I can reach through and adjust you? Who's going to do that? Okay. Good. Come on up. Take a downward dog. Just stretch everything out. Good. Take a vinyasa if you'd like. Good. And then back onto your knees. Take your left knee in front of your right knee. Is that true? Okay. Thank you. And then remember, one side may be different from the other. So as you walk back and place your seat between your heels, you might need a block on this side. Or take your left shin in front of your right shin. Flex your feet. Pulling back those toes is really important. That will protect your knees. And then walk forward. Oh, yeah. Stay on your fingertips first. Thank you. Lift your chest a lot. Nice. Nice, Janet. Nice. You take those shoulders back. Really nice, Jen. Gorgeous. Yeah. And then either stay here or walk yourself forward. Nice, Ronnie. I have two Ronnies. That's right. Breathe deep into your kidneys again. Lauren, I don't know if you have red raspberry leaf. That would be really nice to have as a tea. Red raspberry leaf tea. Red raspberry leaf and mint. Okay, walk up. Sorry, I get sidetracked. And downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Good. Walk or jump back to that squat. Some of you stay in chair for just a moment. I won't hold it that long. Gorgeous. And lie on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. We're going to go deeper into some back bends too, but if you do have a block, plant your feet, lift your hips, and place the block underneath your sacrum. It's so soothing, so soothing. If you don't have a block, feel free to just come up into bridge, lifting your hips. If you have a block to place underneath the sacrum and you let the sacrum release onto the block, deep breathing here, you guys. And even a nice book or some options. Long, deep breathing. Now, if you have the block, I want you to move the block slightly up. So, usually I'd ask you to move it maybe down a little bit more, but I want you to move it slightly up so your butt kind of falls off of the block. Squeeze your shins in. If you don't have a block, just bring yourself down from your bridge and lift yourself back up. Take a break and then come back up. If you have a block, move your butt slightly off the block and let your hips feel like your butt feel like it's almost going to fall off the block. Fall off the block. Now lift your chest a lot. Drop your shoulders to the floor. The groins to feel that deep release. Good. And then lift your hips up off the block. Move the block to the side. Lower your hips down. Pause and feel. Little pelvic tilts here. So your feet are on the floor. Just move your hip bones toward your belly button and then move your hip bones toward your heels. Just little pelvic tilts. Again, it's like just just rocking yourself forward and back. Good. The next time you rock your pelvis, your pelvic bones towards your heels, draw your navel in, drop your ribs to the floor, lift your chest a lot, and then take your hips back up off the floor. Beautiful, Lisa. Maybe clasp your hands underneath you, steady those shins, make them strong and soft. Good. Now kick your right leg up to the sky, press your heel straight up. Lower down, change sides. And lower down, unclasp your hands and come on down. Separate your feet a little bit wider and let your knees come to touch. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll up onto your knees for camel. Come on up. Maybe put a blanket underneath your knees. Lift up onto your knees. Place your hands on your hips. Bring your butt off your heels so you're nice and high. Good. And then either tuck your toes or keep the tops of your feet on the mat. But remember, you're still squeezing your shins, and maybe you want to put a block there to make sure your shins are doing the work they need to do. Good. And then with utter kindness, work your hands back towards your heels for camel. Keep the inner thighs back, keep the ribs in, lift through the chest. Beautiful. Good. Come on up. Sit back onto your heels if you can. If you cannot, sit back onto your heels and stay right where you are. Good. Now by sitting on your heels, lift your butt up just a little bit. Take a hold of your ankles and come into camel like that. Lift from the bottom up. Lift up into camel. Just like that. Oof. Oof. Come on, Kathy's butt. Let's go. All the way into camel. It's a lot on those thighs. Good. Come on back. All right. So here's for the crazies. So, so either you're going to do your final camel, or for my crazy friends, you're going to lay back into supine virasana. Remember when you were lying on your back in between your heels? This is only for you if you can be completely between your heels and lie back. And then you'll take your hands by your ears and try to push up into any form of a camel or a back bend. Otherwise, take it into one last camel. Yeah, so if you're in supine virasana where you're laying on your back between your heels and you place your hands, good Susan, Nicole, let's see where this takes you. And you're just going to do good, and it's not easy. Good, Lisa. Do it again, Lisa. I missed it. Oof. Little bit up, little bit up. Yeah, that's a big deal. All right, come on down. Nice job, you guys. Take your legs back in front of you. Separate your feet nice and wide. Shake your legs out for a minute. Lauren, make sure your toes are pointing straight back. Good girl. Good. All right, sorry, and come forward any amount. Maybe sit on a blanket, you guys. Breathe deeply. Beautiful. Walk your hands up, squeeze your legs back together, and then bend your right knee. Bring your right foot on the opposite side of your left leg for twist. Wrapping your left arm around your right knee. Take your right hand behind your back on fingertips. Squeeze in, twisting to the right. Allow that back hand to keep you lifted and tall. Even here, push back through the sacrum. It's sacred bone. It's a place that'll keep you feeling very steady, very held. Deep breath in. Hold the breath here. Exhale, come back to center, release the leg. Change sides. Get tall. Squeeze in. Nice and tall. Beautiful work. Really beautiful. Your face is soft. Your tongue is dropped to the bottom palate. And come back to center. Good. Come to a cross-legged seat. Try a 1 minute breath, you guys, which means to inhale to the count of 20, hold to the count of 20, exhale to the count of 20. Now, if that's ridiculous, then do 10, 10, 10. But the idea of the 1 minute breath is to see how long you can bring your inhale and holding with patience and kindness and love and exhaling as long as you can. So really that 20, 20, 20 is just an invitation to make it as long as is comfortable and kind for you. So go ahead, just try a couple of rounds, whatever that number count is for you. Keep it even. This is also incredibly balancing for hormones, but also for grounding, softening, supporting. Remember, when you're holding your breath, don't allow your jaw to get tight. Keep your tongue relaxed. You said in our sacred text that the retention breath can be one of the most powerful things we do for ourselves. Remember, lead me to what's real, what's true, what's light, and which moves through its phases, just like the moon, just like the plants, just like nature. And take one more breath like this. And as you finish, you can either move into silent meditation or lie on your back for Shavasana. Ever so gently begin to deepen your breath. Remember when you see a plant, a weed, flower, and on the top it looks like it's dead. It brings back all of its nutrients down deep into its roots so that it then again can reopen itself, renew itself. So remember, we have the ability to always come back into our roots. We have always the ability to decipher between what is real and unreal, what is dark ignorance and what is light knowledge. If you're lying on your back, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, roll to the right side, and come on up to sit. And bring your hands to your heart center. Our closing that we often use during my classes: may all beings everywhere awaken to their innate great perfection. May all beings everywhere experience life's true joys. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering and the root causes of suffering. And together may we all abide in equanimity, free from attachments and aversion. Deep breath in for the sound of Om. Sliding your hands to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much. You're going to have to unmute yourselves if you want to say anything. I hope you have a wonderful day, you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Sheryl. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Have a beautiful day. Thanks, Yasmin.
Thank you, Sheryl.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you tomorrow.
See you, some of you, for teacher training.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful class.
Yay.
Cheryl, on that schedule, if you hit it, it has a drop-down menu. If you just tap it, you get the schedule.
There you go.
I'm just telling you so you could tell other people, because I think that was confusing me because it didn't really give you the schedule. It was like
Got it.
just
Got it. The other thing I was going to say, Anne, is the app is very simple to sign up for classes if you get the app.
Okay. So the app is something I signed up on the website. What is the app?
That's great. But the app, if you go to WIX, Wix,
Okay.
and then did you see she put the code into?
Oh, I have to look at that.